with Russia too. So I think that what we are seeing is we are probably edging closer to what might become a full-fledged war in the region, even a world war where Iran is the cornerstone if it is attacked by Israeli, American, British, or a combination of all three forces in the near future.
It is very interesting how you bring Russia and China into this,
The UN has expressed fears of a full-scale war as the deadly conflict between Israeli forces and Palestinians continues for a third day. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu warned Palestinian militants that this was just the beginning, threatening to strike with blows they haven't dreamed of. Tonight, President Biden said he had spoken to Mr. Netanyahu and said he hoped the violence would end sooner rather than later. At least 65 Palestinians, including 15 children, and 6 Israelis are reported to have been killed since Monday. In the past few days, Palestinian militants have fired a mass barrage of rockets into Israel, including on Tel Aviv. And Israel has carried out a heavy bombardment of Gaza, launching hundreds of airstrikes. Tensions have been growing in Jerusalem, partly fueled by a long-running threat to evict Palestinians from their homes in East Jerusalem. It all came to a head on Friday at Al-Aqsa Mosque. The site where it stands is highly sensitive, sacred for both Muslims and Jews. Israeli police used CS gas and stun grenades at the mosque, and Palestinian youths threw rocks at them. Here's our Middle East correspondent, Tom Bateman.
The world's asking if the region's on the brink of war. People who work to this feel it's already here. Palestinians in Gaza faced the fiercest Israeli bombardment since the last all-out conflict. Israel says it's going after militant leaders. Some were killed in their homes. But civilians died in this strike, say Palestinian health officials. In Gaza, a territory under blockade, grief quickly turns to anger. Dozens have died here since the violence erupted on Monday, and they're still counting their dead. Rocket fire from Gaza has continued deep into Israel, and the sirens are near non-stop in towns close by.
Okay, that's an interception. Let's get in. Jimmy.
As we've heard airstrikes pound the Gaza Strip just a couple of miles away throughout the course of this morning into the afternoon, more retaliation, more fire from Gaza.
Under fire, Asher and his son Maor ran for safety, but their neighbour, an 89-year-old woman, didn't make it. She's seriously injured. Her carer died in the strike. There are growing international calls for restraint, but for now, it seems that no one here is listening.
It is the intensity of these attacks that has led both sides to say they will step up their strikes in retaliation. A descent into much further violence seems inevitable.
More rockets are shot down in Israel's skies. Tonight, in a mixed Jewish-Arab town, I saw how fear and chaos is spreading. Violence between Jews and Arabs inside Israel is spiralling. Here, Jewish extremists attack an ambulance and then check a car to see if Arabs or Jews are inside. Along the coast, a popular Arab restaurant comes under attack. In another mixed town, a Jewish man is beaten by Arab Israelis. A synagogue has also been torched. Israel's leader calls it anarchy. A wave of anger that started in Jerusalem has spilled out to the occupied territories and into Israel itself. The country's engulfed in multiple flashpoints. It may be too late to contain it now.
A curfew being enforced in one of those towns. It seems to be largely ineffective tonight. And Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has said that he is now considering sending in army troops to some of those areas experiencing those kinds of confrontations. As to the wider military conflict, as you were saying, Sophie, the US President Joe Biden says that his expectation and hope is it should end sooner rather than later, while also saying that he believes Israel has the right to defend itself. But with more airstrikes pounding the Gaza Strip in the last couple of hours and more rocket fire within that time, that certainly seems, from this perspective, a long way off.
Our Middle East correspondent